Hey, 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 it is Friday, February 16th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brandon Beliso, and this is Success Never Sleeps. Is it there somewhere? Success Never Sleeps. Got to get that little icon back up there, Marco. There it is. Success Never Sleeps. Dun, 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 dun. As you see, I'm really, really excited. You know, we're going to go on part two on storytelling today, and I'm going to go deep and share a lot of things with you that I've learned, not just as a writer. I share the story with people all the time. I started my life as a songwriter, and then I wrote poetry. I have a book of poetry. Then, you know, writing songs got me a record deal with Warner Brothers in the Philippines and a number one hit song. It's storytelling. Even in a song, you tell a story about love and heartbreak or whatever that might be. It's still a story. And then going to John Corcoran and saying, I want to become a great writer, and going through the paces of writing feature articles. We're at 7 or 8, I believe, something like that, for MA Success Magazine, writing feature articles. And now today I have the number one martial arts blog at Google, if you Google it. And I say that proudly because I didn't do any smoke and mirrors or buying clicks or anything. I simply honed my craft. I simply wrote my stories. And now it's a multimedia effect. You've got videos with copy and Facebook ads and Google business pages and all the rest, and your website. But do I believe that influence of my experience is why our two locations are over 1,000 students and doing close to 2 million a year? Absolutely. Because through storytelling, you build that legacy. Through storytelling, you build your credibility. Through storytelling, you earn the trust of the community that you serve. So I'm a huge advocate of that. And as we go down this path of AI, and I mean, before I get too deep, let me start by thanking our sponsors. First of all, who do we have? Thank you. Make sure I do that. We have Tucson, Market Muscles, My Studio, and I had breakfast with Tule. I'll tell you about that story. Kids Love Life Skills and LC Accounting. 5 companies I love, all with people and innovators and disruptors that are doing good work for our industry, and they continue to influence all of my businesses tremendously. I use every one of these products. So I'm not just a brand ambassador for them. I physically use their products. So I can tell you through the highs and lows and the indifference that these are great companies, and they have helped me cultivate my brands and help me become a better version of myself and my businesses. Cool. What do we got coming up? It's Time Live Canada, folks. That's coming up May 25th through 28th. You're going to want to be there. I can't express that enough to you. Marco put in the link so that they know where to go to sign up. Super powerful. 20 school owners, 4 days, right? We don't have the smoke and mirrors of Vegas and all that craziness. And we don't want 1,000 people in a room. We want to do our best work. So to work with 20 of you in an intermittent environment over 4 days of business, of staff development, training, and everything on the mat, of personal development. That day of personal development is just monumental in your growth, right down to wealth building and strategizing to take the information you learned and implement it. Right? It's a powerful 4 days. Again, the discipline of only 20 school owners is what makes the cost justified, makes the commitment to 4 days impactful. Please, there's only 19 spots left. Get signed up for It's Time Live Canada now. We haven't released the landing page for it. We have It's Time Live Purpose. That's coming up November 9th to 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 days in November. Again, here in San Francisco, California, we have facilitated the event here for 8 years, and it's always sells out. The 20 school owners is what we're after, to create 4 days of very impactful learning. We eat meals together. We assign accountability partners. All of it is just so amazing. And I encourage you to get signed up for that one. Put the link for that as well. Oh, there is no link. God, there's no link. DM us if you want to come to the one in San Francisco on that. So storytelling, getting back to that in the world of AI. Now, my brother too, I'll tell you this story. He flew in to meet with Dave Kovar and his organization about potentially bringing my studio to the Kovars. And I thought he was flying into San Francisco, then I was going to drive him 2 hours to Sacramento, spend the day with him, and then drive back. I mean, to sit with my brother too, just at a heart level, is powerful. But to sit and learn from him for 5, 6, 7 hours. Phenomenal, just phenomenal. And that didn't happen. He needed to fly straight into Sacramento. But what he did do, and really, I was almost just like, like a blushing high school girl. Can I say that? He drove 2 hours from Sacramento, came down, slept in his hotel, got up the next morning just to share breakfast with me. And I'm going to tell you, in the 2 hours I spent with him, I learned more than I probably could in 2 days of any major event. The stuff Tu shared with me about where my studio is going. We talked a lot about AI, which is the fourth industrial revolution. Some of my top mentors, Sam On, Tu Lei, everything around me, leveraging AI to where we don't lose humanism. We don't lose that emotional connection with the people that we serve. That balance is really what I'm all about. So understanding AI fully to know how to leverage it fully in our service-based environment of martial arts schools without compromising humanism is super powerful. But unless you spend the time studying AI, reading what's happening with it on Wall Street, seeing, what heartbeat is going on here in Silicon Valley, you live in a state of ignorance. You simply do. You dismiss it. You just simply dismiss it and do nothing to leverage it to become more cost efficient in your martial arts schools and to really create the time you need to do what you really need to do: cultivating curriculum, training your team, teaching amazing classes. So I'm all for AI on that level if it truly allows me that freedom. And that's why I think my studio is powerful. It does create a lot of freedom for us once we understand how to use the darn software. And isn't that always the case? Right? I have a Tesla, and that thing probably does more things than I can imagine, but I know how to drive it. And that's pretty much it. So please be mindful in that. If you're not investigating AI and how it can impact your business, please do so. But I'm not an advocate of the trendiness that comes with it. You hear me speak sarcastically all the time about the AI generated Santas that were flooding social media during Christmas time, the karate AI generated Santas. Now, on the surface, might seem cool and hip looking and wow, but is it in line with your brand? Is it going to get people to believe in the culture of what you're trying to create? I don't think so. I don't think so. So again, I want to make sure that I'm in a position where I fully comprehend and understand the value and impact of AI and what it can truly do for my business to allow me to teach better, to allow me to spend time cultivating curriculum, to allow me the freedom to sit on a bench and watch my son play basketball. So what does this all have to do with storytelling? Everything. Everything. For instance, somebody feel free. And let me stop and say hi. Who do we have? Hey, Beth. How's it going, Beth? I understand you met with my team and then you're meeting with the kin team on Monday. Good for you, Beth. Good for you. Who else is here? We got Babu. Goals, martial arts. I see a couple Facebook, things, but no people. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And as you come aboard, who's saying hi? Where are you tuning in from? And make sure you share this. Let's spread the love. Let's spread this knowledge that I offer to the 90% of single school owners out there, mom and pop operations. You're the ones I live for. You're the ones I die for. You're the ones I want to help. Right? Because what, you think somebody like, I don't know, these big organizations need my help? They don't. Well, they probably could use my help, but that's a different subject. But needless to say, my commitment and passion and purpose is to you. So if you can share this with at least one school owner would benefit from this learning right now with us, get them aboard. Get them aboard. Monique, what's up, Miss Monique? Karate for girls. So go to one of your most intimate childhood experiences, right? One of your most memorable, intimate childhood experiences. Where were you? What was going on? Who were you with? What did it smell like, taste like, feel like? And then if you think about that memory from your perspective, do you honestly believe you could ask ChatGPT to replicate and write that for you? Hypothetically, ChatGPT, write me a blog from the perspective of a 4-year-old boy who is in a foster home because his parents, one was an alcoholic, one was dysfunctional. And it's 1966. Go. No freaking way. No freaking way. I had this debate with somebody. I said, imagine if ChatGPT wrote Harry Potter versus J.K. Rowling's, who, as the story goes, was sitting in her car homeless, escaping, the dilemma of the situation she was in, into writing the Harry Potter novels. And you know what their only response was? Well, she'd have 30 volumes instead of 8. See how that mentality dismisses the art of storytelling? How that mentality simply goes for, but we have more. We have volume. More is not better. Better is better. So again, please, in the convenience of ChatGPT, be mindful when you bite articles. I saw somebody's stuff not too long ago and it looked a lot like mine. They almost literally bit me word for word. I'm not surprised at this point. I mean, I've got probably, God, at this point, hundreds of thousands of hours of content out there. So to go to ChatGPT and say, write me an article on the benefit of martial arts for 6-year-old kids from Brandon Beliso's viewpoint. Not enough information. Boom, plug this, plug that. Over time, that machine learning could probably write something on Brandon Beliso. But you know what? All that does to do for you as a storyteller is leave you in a state of insecurity. You are the architect, the storyteller of your business. So you really need to start doing that. And somebody said, well, nobody cares what I have to say. Of course, every digital media company is going to tell you nobody cares what you have to say. I've got the data that says if you say this, everybody's going to opt in and they become a lead and they become a trial. I beg to differ. We're not selling some skincare product, right, through the internet. You're really trying to get a community within a 3 to 5 mile radius of your brick and mortar location to trust you enough or be curious enough or be inspired enough to come into your doors and take a trial class. That's it, right? So I think some of the marketing techniques that the big boys use don't apply to us, but there are some good sound business practices that do, right? I do dig the storytelling that comes out of Apple. I really, really dig it. They're very protective, and they control the narrative of what is said within the culture of Apple. Now, outside of that, other people's criticism, things like that, they're not in control of, right? They're not in control of. In some cases, they'll even agree with you, right? Simply to be part of that narrative and part of that conversation without being confrontational and defensive. But needless to say, I'm going to encourage you to tell those stories. Cool? So let's talk about storytelling. Hey, Conrad, Respect Martial Arts, what's happening? All-Star Martial Arts Ontario. Is that you, Andrew, or is that Eamon? Or is that somebody else? All-Star is one of my friends. I'm going to say my friends now, part of my family, and I'm blessed to work with All-Star Martial Arts in my executive mentoring program, Wisdom. So in telling those stories, whether it's a social media post, whether it's a landing page at your website, whether it's a Facebook ad, whether it's hey, Eamon, my friend, you and I should have dinner one time. I know I could learn a lot from you. I look in your eyes, sir. I know you don't say a lot, but when we're on the calls, just the 2 times I've seen you, I know you have so much wisdom, and I'm sure I could learn a lot from you, sir. Absolutely. Resilient Martial Arts, James, what's happening, sir? So, like any great movie, any great story, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Write that down. A beginning, a middle, and an end. Right? And like the beginning of any great movie, it has to have so much impact. It just does. That's why now, as we're negotiating the space of our Facebook ads, we don't show the thumbnail or the opening shot of the video. Me, right? We're starting, you'll see old commercials that still do that. But what I really want to show in that opening shot, whether it's the picture or the video or the thumbnail, is what? The product that we sell. So for youth karate, what would I want to see in an ideal world? A kid sweating, smiling, having fun. Because every parent, and this is the number one Google searches, a parent is looking for a fun activity for their child. Fun activity for their child. You got that? So if the image in the video, the thumbnail, right, even at your landing page, is a shot of a kid smiling, having fun, that already is a dump, right? A dopamine dump. Boom. All right, let me check this out more. Are you following me on that? So right now, if you could do just one thing, go through all your social media posts. Do your images convey that? Go through every picture at your website. Do those images convey that? A fun activity for their child. Fun, fun, right? Number one of the best key searches. That alone. Because the reason I share that with you, and I'm very passionate about that, is that in order to earn trust, my message needs to be consistent. Consistent, right? The message needs to be consistent. And if your website has hypothetically black and white pictures of everybody elbowing people in the face and kicking people in the groin, then I look at your social media page and everyone, it's sunshine and rainbows and dancing with bubbles. Then I look at your personal social media page and you're drinking a beer. Then I look at your Google business page, and it's something else. I don't trust you. That is it. That is it. So in the philosophy of Apple, control the narrative, right? I would never show up on my One Martial Arts page in a black beanie in this t-shirt, but it's part of my brand. People correlate this when they see me as a consultant. And the reason I did that, because I wanted a huge separation between my martial arts schools and my consulting, because I consult outside the martial arts industry as well. So I didn't want to have a uniform, in my consulting. That's why you don't see that very seldom. So, and that was by intent, very intentional. Are you with me? So, but the common theme of what? Live your best life. That is consistent in my martial arts schools, in Kids Love Life Skills, my character development, in It's Time Consulting, in It's Time Group Mentoring, all of it. All of it. It's still based upon one core purpose. I help people, small companies, businesses, teams live their best life. That's it. So see, at least I have that. And the reason I share that, think of a great franchise like the John Wick. Okay, John Wick. We all know John Wick, right? Put it in the comments if you don't. Because if you don't know who John Wick is, then you got to leave the call right now. Who else is here? Tell me who else is here. I see lots of people eye in the sky. Talk to me. Let me know that you are here. So, John Wick, it's a common theme. They're always after him. He's always the sad, he's the victim, even though he's this killer assassin, right? He's the victim and he's got that whole thing, right? Look at another great franchise, the Rocky franchise. That's another one, right? His Expendable. Sylvester Stallone was brilliant at that. He did it with Rocky. He did it with Rambo. He did it with the Expendables. Did he do it with anything else? I mean, it doesn't surprise me. But to be able to do that, because what you're fundamentally doing is you're telling the same story in a different way. And that's why having a strong brand is important. You know how many different ways I can tell live your best life? All the time. But you have to root that storytelling in some real data too. Okay? So you'll love this. I was searching at Google one night, the number one key phrase parents search for in relationship to their child's personal development and growth. And you know what came up? Hello, Journey Martial Arts, Virginia. Be kind, be brave. Great brand, great story. She tells that story at the website, in her social media posts, everything. That is the goal. That is the goal. That is the goal. That is the goal. And I found there is a spike. Google Trends shared with me. There's a spike at 1 a.m. in the morning. And guess who that demographic is? Parents. Stay with me. And guess what the number one phrase they're searching for? Ways to help my child. And then it went on to be more confident, to overcome bullying, to be more socialized, but that key phrase, to help my child. So I was talking to the group at Kin, who I'm part of. I'm an advisor and a brand ambassador for Kin Creative. If you're looking for a great social media company, you know, check them out. Check them out. I love them a lot. I mean, they're good people. And I think what we're doing is innovative. And so I said, what would that look like if we did a Facebook ad of a mom? You could tell her hair's kind of messed up. She's stressed out, sitting there at 1 a.m, half asleep on her computer. And it says that. Ever find yourself up at 1 a.m., stressed out, searching for ways to help your child be a better version of themselves? Man, talk about an emotional connection. Who sees that? Put it in the comments if you could see that. Would that not engage a mom? And let's challenge ourselves. Let's run that ad at 1 a.m. when there's that spike. Even the team at Kent didn't know that. But again, going down the rabbit hole, which I like to do all the time of studying data, that data was there. Because if I'm going to create creatives for anything, be it your website, be it rebranding you, be it, I can't just pull sunshine out of my butt. I have to have some data to root that direction in, right? Am I writing a country love song? Am I writing an EDM house song, for dancing? What is it that I'm doing? But again, understanding my demographic is vital. And at Career Day yesterday, I shared with the kids the benefits of a purpose driven career. Hey, I love it. I love it. In my case, helping people to grow brave and spread kindness. Yeah. So many teachers stopped me on my way out asking me to come back. See? And that's because you're living from purpose. It wasn't there to get new students. You're living from purpose. And I believe organically, will you get more students? You will. You absolutely will. And doesn't it feel good to live from your purpose, Virginia, all day, every day, right? So think about that, because in that opening statement, I know, and again, if I think about it at my website, we used to always have to put San Francisco's best martial arts because the algorithm search that way. So much more sophisticated today. I don't believe every Facebook ad you generate or every social media post you generate needs to be San Francisco parents, right? If I'm running a Facebook ad and I put in my audience, my custom audience, parents, blah 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 blah, and fill it in, they're the ones who are going to see the damn ad. So it's not always necessary, but sometimes it should be there. Because if I'm scrolling through a bunch of stuff at my feed and I see San Francisco parents, that might attract me. So the thing again in telling that particular story, do you need to put the demographic up top? Maybe. But imagine if I had an image of somebody stressed out at 1 a.m. in a bathrobe, sitting in front of a computer, all half awake and with their hair messed up, and it's set up top. Do you find yourself up, at 1 a.m., not able to sleep, looking for an activity to help your child? Sure. If I'm a mom, I think that would stand out above some freaking skincare ad or anything else scrolling through my feed, right? So again, understanding your demographic is a big part of storytelling. But as I'm going back to the beginning, middle, and end, that opening line is super, super, super important. And that opening line of the story you're going to tell should create an emotional connection with the audience, right? On a dark, rainy night. Oh, does that sound like a freaking kids movie? No, not necessarily, right? On a dark, stormy night. I sat alone at my typewriter thinking about what had just transpired over the past 3 days. The turmoil, blah, blah, blah. See, that already is an adult theme. You could see mystery novel, da, 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 introspective. So, right? So, again, understanding that this is great. Who is that? This is great. Who's saying this is great? Again, you're coming aboard. Please say hello. And if you could put a face with it, the name of your school, that good stuff, stand up and be counted. Because I believe what we're doing here requires a lot of work, but it's a hell of a lot better than a AI generated Santa Claus, you guys. Your brand is better than that. You have a story worth so much more than relying because you're scared or afraid to tell your story, because then you'll be criticized, or even worse, the Facebook ad's going to fall flat, right? I'm not trying to sell you a skincare product. I'm trying to earn the trust of the community that I serve within what, a 3 to 5 mile radius. Please keep that in mind always when they're asking you to use some copy that they can say, I'm the expert, the data proves this ad works. Yeah, I think an ad in Manhattan is going to perform much differently than an ad in freaking Ohio and compared to San Francisco. Just my San Francisco location compared to Millbrae, some of the stories we tell are similar, but some of them I measure based upon data and try to tell very differently. You with me? We're in Silicon Valley. We're near it. We're in more PhDs per capita than I think anywhere in the United States. I'm not going to tell the same story here as I would somewhere else. So again, you can go down to that level of understanding. And that's where I think something like a Chat GPT is powerful because I can go to Chat GPT and say, I want to know the three most common worries of moms with 7-year-old kids in San Francisco in the 94030 radius. Wow. You with me? So at least I have data and it might say bullying, social media, too much screen time. Okay, great. That gives me really specific topics that I can write about that will immediately create an emotional connection. For example, I cannot sell air conditioners in Alaska. And because I didn't do my damn homework, I'm going to sit there and open up an air conditioning store in Alaska. I don't care how many social media posts I do, what Facebook ads, or otherwise, I will never, ever sell an air conditioner. Why? I don't know my demographic down to the macro level. I want you to know your demographic at the macro level. Okay? You with me? And that's where I think leveraging something like ChatGPT or AI can give me some information that I can use to put into my original storytelling. Okay? You with me? Come on. Follow me on this because if you're not leveraging some of that to a certain point, it's going to be horrible for you. And I love leveraging it. And I don't know what I would do without my GPS. I don't. I don't. I use it. I love it. It works really well. Right? So, that opening line, the first 3 seconds of your video, that header on the top of your page, all of it, I'm always scrutinizing and trying to say it better. And at the minimum, a dynamic website that you're always updating the blog, you're changing out pictures, you're changing some of the copy, it's going to rank better. A static website that hasn't been touched in 5 years is going to drop to the bottom of Google ranking. That's just a strategy. Come on, you should all be using it. You should all be updating pictures at your website, changing a header, looking. Believe me, right now, you don't think I'm looking at my pages going, where can I put "We help your child," right? If that's the number one of the top key phrases parents search for, how to help my child, why wouldn't that be somewhere in a social media post that you execute? Somewhere. Somebody walks through the door of your school. Why do you want to enroll your kids in martial arts? Well, I'd really like them to learn to pay attention better. Well, here at One Martial Arts, we can help your child develop the ability to pay attention at a high level. You think that's going to become part of a staff meeting? Some of the language that we love to use, so whether you're 17, 25, or 55, you will always say in response to a parent telling you what they want for their child, at One Martial Arts, we can help your child. Who's getting this? Put it in your comments right now. I want to see if you're following me on this and if you're really understanding and seeing the value of this. When I got this, I don't know, it was maybe, I've always had it, but in relationship to working with Kin Creative and designing copy and looking at B rolls being shot and editing and establishing shots and closing shots, in the past year, my mind has been right? Blown up. Because why is it that a video goes viral? Why is it that a song takes off? Why is it? Why is it? Why is it? Because somebody created an emotional connection and somebody told somebody and somebody told somebody and somebody told somebody and told somebody and it just took off, right? Word of mouth will still be the best way. The best way. You have a parent disgruntled. I'm pissed off. My kid didn't earn their belt. Well, it's my goal to help your child achieve their goal. Let's take a look at that. Boom. The gloves drop, the arms drop, the defense drops, the parent mellows out. I'm going to keep experimenting with that to help your child, right? Wow. We can help your child be more brave. And through being brave, they'll become the best versions of themselves. If our children can be more kind, it will help them be more empathetic towards their friends and their siblings. I'm bringing them to Journey Martial Arts. I hope you wrote that down, Virginia. That's freaking gold, right? But see what I did with that? Virginia has a very clear purpose and brand. So I was able to leverage that. Waukesha parents, we're all looking for activities to help our child be a better version of themselves, right? Question mark. Well, yes, I am. Let me read more. Let us take your child on a journey of learning to be more kind and brave. And through that, they will be the best version of themselves. See, there was a beginning, there was a middle, there was an end. That opening line, identify my demographic and their pain point, right? Waukesha parents, are you looking for an activity to help your child be the best version of themselves? Yeah, that's a pain point. We're always looking for ways. That's why we put our kids in soccer, gymnastics, swimming, coding, martial arts, whatever we can do, right? Then let us take them on a journey of learning to be more kind and brave. Wow. Ooh, branding, right? Plus purpose. Then the closing will be through learning to be brave and kind, they'll be more confident, more goal-oriented, and achieve the goals that we want for our kids as parents. So let us help your child by clicking the link below and signing up for a complimentary class. I just wrote an ad for you, Virginia, literally on the spot. Needs some work, but the nuts and bolts are there. Now, then you replicate that in a social media post, right? Right? Waukesha parents love the journey that we take their children on to help them to be more kind and brave. Why do I give a shit? Studies prove that children that are brave overcome bullying, right? The social media, anxiety, and whatever. See, it's just so beautiful. It's an easy brand for me to work with all day long, right? And through that, that's why I'm so passionate. And one of the things we do in our It's Time group mentoring, one of the months we spend, and it's going to be a consistent theme always. Why do I want to bring my kid to you versus Joe Karate down the street? What is your why? What is your why? That's why I asked you to watch that TED Talk by Simon Sinek called The Golden Circle. Because they learn to live, market, grow, scale from the why, not the what, not the how. I mean, the what, the how, and the what. Because what are we? A martial arts school. How do we do it? Quality life skills and martial arts instruction. Why do we do it? Because at All Star Martial Arts, your child is the most important person in the world, right? That's what we have going with All Star Martial Arts. Wow. What an emotional connection. You're telling me, because to me, my children are the most important person in the world. You agree with me? You think like I do? Holy Christmas. Can I come hang out there? You see where I'm going with that? Amen. So now you guys in your staff meetings and stuff, you guys are all storytellers, right? Kid walks through the door on his first day for his trial. There's a poster up there with his name. Welcome to Johnny, the most important person at All Star Martial Arts today. Kid comes through the door. How you doing? Are you Johnny? Hey, Johnny, we're really grateful you're here. You ready to be the most important person in the world? Yeah. Awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm going to help you learn focus and discipline, because that you already gathered that information from the mom. You see what we just did there? We told a whole story. We created a story. Our screenplay was there. The beginning, the middle is on the floor, and the end. It's all there. I mean, you see that? Tell me you don't see that, sir. I know you do. I know you do. Yeah, see, I just Googled quotes about resilient now. I have 50 stories to tell. You do, sir, as long as you fuse them in with authentic storytelling of your own school, not just your own, your whole cultural experience. Because resilient by itself is a bunch of topics and subjects in relationship to parents with kids. But to really bring that into you is what we're talking about. That's the art. That's the art. Hey, Jason, what's happening, sir? So let me take a deep breath, take a sip of coffee. Tell me, what's your number one takeaway right now? Go. And Marco will post it. Come on. I'm waiting because I can do that. Nobody's got anything? What's your big takeaway? As you can see, I've been immersed in this heavy, for the past year, but I've always been a storyteller. And that's why I believe I have the number one martial arts blog at Google. That's it. I didn't know no crazy tricks or anything. It's just I write and I write and I write and I write. And do I think it's, again, a big reason why we're over 1,000 students? We are where we are? Absolutely. Absolutely. Study your demographics. Tell them your story. Good, good. How you can help their child. I love it. And if you based every social media post on that, right? Or your Google, make sure you're posting at Google, please. Your Google business page, you should treat like Facebook or anything else. Always adding pictures, all of that. And I'm always scouring. And I checked yesterday. I didn't have an exterior shot of San Francisco. What the heck? So I'm going to add that in. Why? We figured that out demographically with one of my clients and answered this question for me. Do you believe more people have been in your school or have driven by it in the years you've been open? Okay. I've been open 24 years in San Francisco. I'm going to say, even though thousands and thousands, tens of thousands at this point, more people have driven by my school versus being in it. Same thing in Millbrae. Who can agree with me on that? Tell the story of how we make our students and community resilient. Yeah. Based upon a parent's pain point, right? So I want to be mindful of that. Would you like your child? Oh, we are always looking for ways to help our child be stronger, right? That's another word for resilient. Let us help your child become more resilient to cyberbullying, to the anxieties of today's world. Wow. I can go on and on with that, James. It's not hard. It's not hard. But who agrees with me? More people have driven by the outside of your school than have physically been in your school. Go. Nobody? Nobody? Come on. I wish this moved faster in the comments, Marco. I want instant comments. That's a thing AI can improve upon. Make the comments instant. It'll be more interactive. The level of communication will be much higher if when I ask you a question, the answer pops up immediately. Immediately. Anybody? Yep. So that is why I'm a huge advocate of making sure my storefront, the outside of my store, tells stories. Right? Sure, I'm it's been a work in progress. It's not done. I'm redesigning all of our windows right now. Yes, there'll be a QR code for each program. Each window will tell a story. This one is for youth karate. What story do I want to tell? Right? And there'll be a QR code in the corner. This one will be for kickboxing. This one will be for day camp. I can do that. Each one will tell a story and each one will have a QR code. But because they're driving by, am I going to write a freaking novel? No. Am I going to use 1,000 pictures? No. It may simply be one picture. If a picture speaks 1,000 words, really scrutinizing and getting that one shot, that one freaking shot, right? That will communicate the whole program. It's a pretty lofty goal, but I believe it can be done. One picture. Think of the Mona Lisa. How many stories that tells in just one freaking picture? Oh, you're thinking too big, Brandon. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You have the right picture, and it says in Jason's case, be successful in our youth karate program and there's a QR code and that picture really conveys being successful, a kid who believes in himself because they're believe martial arts, I think I might be inspired to take out my phone and just scan that QR code, right? As I'm walking by or sitting at the stoplight. Sure, absolutely. What about using the best social media post and changing them every few months? Um, I would absolutely do that. Absolutely. But what I would challenge you on, we're doing that right now with Kin, right? We're taking our three best performing ads across the board for all the martial arts schools, and I'm going to sit there and scrutinize the copy, right? I've never done that with their stuff. And I kind of did that with a couple of the new scripts and they were blown away. And I think that's good because number one, I'm a writer. I'm a proven writer, right? I'm not just somebody who I thinks they can write. I've mastered my craft. Two, I'm a martial arts school owner. Three, I'm a parent. I'm a parent. So I've got all three legs of the stool, right? I'm coming in as a martial arts school owner, but I understand the parent and I'm a skilled writer. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the existing ones that perform really well and write them better and write them better and go deeper instead of bigger. So I'm a huge, absolutely, absolutely. But I would challenge you in those social media posts to tell the same story three different ways. Maybe keep the picture, but write better copy. Maybe keep the copy, but change the picture. Because the big thing is, I don't want this really great social media post, right? And it's spread out every 3 months. I see that post. What I would love to do is scrutinize that post and go, why is this the best performing one? Look at the key elements of it. Okay. And I'm going to challenge you. Look at the key elements of that really good social media post and make 50 more, if not better, just like it, because you want to consistently tell your story to earn the trust. You with me? So if it's your youth karate, you've got this really great social media post, take it and write it 50 different ways. Make sure it's at your business page, right? Your Facebook business page. Ask yourself, does it need to be on my friends and family page? Because that's more intimate. That's for the existing culture. Does it work well at my Instagram? Can I use it and leverage it into the landing page of Youth Karate at my website? And does it fit my Google business page? The only reason I ask that because each environment is native. And I don't just simply want to all the time. Sometimes I do, but not all the time. The story I tell at Instagram is much different than the story I would tell at LinkedIn, right? For me as Brandon the consultant. So again, being that thorough and passionate and committed to your storytelling and your brand, I can't tell you. Now, why do I say that? Great relationships are built over time. They simply are. And I believe the churn and burn, we hear about the ad agencies, which is something I'm committed to with Kin Creative, to changing. Every 3 months, the average school owner, and this is a majority, not a minority, leave the ad agency they're with and they go on to another one, right? And I've friends, myself, because they have enough tricks in their bag to get you a lot of leads and stuff up front. How many actually convert? You know, decent, right? If you get net 10, it's a good day. You might in that first month get net 15, net 20 and be doing the happy dance, but you watch it diminish. The return diminishes tremendously within 3 months. And we were onboarding a client at Kin who had been with several ad agencies. And the first thing he said, nobody ever asked me about my demographic. Nobody ever asked me about my brand. Nobody ever asked me about my why. I think that's really important, right? Again, I'm not selling some skincare product through multi-level marketing tactics. I'm trying to tell a story to get that community within a 5-mile radius to be curious and inspired enough to want to do business with you. That's it. Or at least come in and take a trial, right? Had a school owner. He said, I'm getting a lot of leads, right? And this person used some ad and it's not one I would have ever used. 10 classes for $10. Never, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever, never, ever, right? Because one, you're saying that my classes are worth $1. That's not a good positioning. I am not going to invest in my child's personal development and future on a $1 product. I'm not. And that promotes, cheap, scarcity, time, all that fear-based marketing. Get it now or it's going to be gone in 5 minutes. Only 10 spots left. Ugh, I want nothing to do. You never hear Apple do that. Have you ever heard Apple do that? Go. You don't. And you have to have faith in your brand. You have to believe in what you do so much, not with a narrow minded, egotistical thinking that, I'm the master and, this is the way we've always done it. No way. With a humility of open mind, of willing to adopt change, because you have such good core values and a story that you're willing to do that. Okay. Big difference. Big, 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 big difference. And then they came at me and said, I got tons of leads. 10 people signed up and only 3 showed. I said, okay. And the 3 who showed, the parents were unemployed. Okay. You want the quick fix? You want instant gratification? Go get some AI generated image of a karate kid right now. Do it and post it on your social media. Does not tell your story. It's not that I'm anti AI. It's quite the opposite. I want to leverage AI to the hilt, but it has to be rooted in the core value of humanism. And I'd rather you take out your great iPhone 15, better do it, best camera on the market, iPhone 15. Put it on cinematic mode. Make sure it's a vertical shot, not horizontal. And you shoot something authentic and true, right? But make sure the other additive, get a Rode mic. See, just some real basic things can help you tell your stories better, easier, and quicker, right? That's an example. So going back to all of that beginning is there, right? Identify your audience, create an emotional connection with their pain point. In the middle, why? Your unique brand is the best solution. Ending of the movie, some CTA call to action, right? And then you send them out the door with be successful, be brave, be kind. You send them out with live your best life, right? Again, I don't want you to buy into what I do. I want you to believe in what I do. And that requires a certain amount of integrity. That requires patience. That requires putting the relationship before $19.99 for 3 classes and boxing gloves. It just does. And I can say that because I've done it for 24 years in these schools. I do it in a consulting business. I do it with our life skills. We've had clients for years because the relationship supersedes everything. So you have to go about it that way instead of the fear of, I got to get 10 new students. I got to get 10 new students. If you cloak it in that, you'll always go for one time based. 24 hours, the special be gone. You go for scarcity, only 10 spots, right? Or you go for price. Make it cheap so they come to the door. Not a good brand. Not a good brand. Not a good brand. All right. So we still got a few more minutes. As you can see, this is a subject that's going to be ongoing. It won't necessarily be the subject of every show, but I hope today it created a sense of awareness for you, of curiosity. But I want to open the floor to questions, is basically where I'm at. And while you put in your questions about storytelling in relationship to everything, right? See what I've done? We've talked about your website. We've talked about your Facebook ads. We've talked about your social media posts. We've talked about the language you use when you're speaking to parents walking through your door. It all has to be consistent. It's all a form of storytelling. And it's rooted in some good data, right? 1 a.m. parent, stressed out, ways to help my child. So we've utilized a lot of different things. What I feel creates a very balanced narrative. I hope that registers with you. This is not just martial arts. This is humanism across the board, be it Apple, Disney, Nike, be it in your community. The stuff that I leverage is not things I just make up. I spend a lot of time studying this stuff because I believe, when I see something take off and it's viral, I'm going, why? How in the heck? And sometimes isn't it the most crazy thing? You look at it and go, what the heck? Right? What the heck? And just what the ad agencies think. I don't know if you remember I use this one all the time. The Super Bowl year where Mountain Dew did the puppy monkey baby. Does anybody remember that, Marco? Maybe you can find the commercial and put the link in there. I think my wife thinks I'm nuts sometimes. If you can find that, Marco, if you could play that commercial really quick, I'd love people just to see this for a minute. Mountain Dew puppy monkey baby commercial at the Super Bowl. See if you can find it. And I just want to play it because I want to share people the art of storytelling and just how creative people can be and how you just never know. You just never know. And because Virginia was brave enough to live from her purpose of be brave, be kind, who the hell puts that in a martial arts school? Be brave, be kind. What the hell's that shit? Right? It's Virginia's. And she went to this school and told that story, and they were endeared to her. You see, that takes courage. That takes a lot of courage when someone's going to tell you bullshit. Virginia, bullshit. You must show somebody kicking someone in the nutsack and punching them in the face, and the kid, So I applaud. I've always applauded Virginia. We went through a whole journey together in her past life and some of it through to her current life. And it took a lot of courage on her part, a lot of courage. And she exemplifies that in her brand. It's her journey and she's still on it. And the journey is evolving and changing. And it's just super cool. Did you find it, Marco? Did you find it? Okay, watch this thing. Watch it. Oh, we get volume.
Puppy monkey baby. 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 Puppy monkey baby.
Mountain Dew Kickstart. Dew, juice, caffeine.
Okay, Dew, juice, caffeine. Puppy, monkey, baby. 3, right? Beginning, middle, and end. It's all there. See the establishing shot? The first thing I did when this commercial came on, I'm going, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? Talk about something more shocking than this character that's got a puppy head, a monkey body, and baby legs and a diaper. What the heck? Who would ever, in their right mind, I know I can't unsee that, right? It's just like, I'm blinded, right? But could you imagine in that meeting, hey, this is the commercial we want to do for the Super Bowl. And we're going to take a puppy, right? Because everybody loves puppies, right? And we're going to take a monkey because, there's a demographic that loves monkeys, right? But it'll only be the middle part of the body with the tail because it's not that relevant, but it's relevant. And we're going to take a baby, puppy and babies. Everybody loves a puppy and a baby, right? And that demographic that loves puppies and babies drink freaking Mountain Dew. Or they could have said, we're going after a new audience. Either way, that opening shot, that beginning of that movie was intense. Then the middle section where he climbs up on his lap and he licks his face, puppy, monkey, baby, right? That's the middle of any story. Like, what the hell's going on there? And then they dance together out the door and they close. It's powerful. One of the best performing Super Bowl commercials ever, ever, ever. And I mine data like that because it's data and success leaves clues. And if I can take that and go, how do I mine that? How do I mine that? And if you read my blogs, people bite my blogs all day long. They write, I see it. They write social media posts based upon my blog. It's there. It's there. It's there. And I'm cool with it. I'm not, but I wouldn't challenge you to be more creative and inspired to do your own stuff. Right. But I've seen it. I've seen it happen. Every action I take that's true to my purpose is worthwhile and fulfilling, regardless of whether it results in new students or not. That's an incredibly powerful way to live. Yes, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, whether I've refunded somebody money and nobody signed up new that day or not, when I put my head down on the pillow, I cannot wait to wake up to the next day and fulfill my purpose. And because it's live your best life, you know what live your best life is for me? Fulfilling my kids' dreams, sitting on the pine at a basketball game. So I help my team live the best life so I have that freedom. But it means I, as the visionary, the architect, need to cultivate the type of content to get new students through the door. That's still a fact, right? We got to get new students through the door. But these same stories consistently told improve my retention. These same stories consistently told instill a belief system into my team as to why this is not just a job, but their purpose in the world. See, so it consistently can go across every playing field in your business. You with me? Who's getting this? Staff meeting in 5. Good. Take some of this into your staff meeting in 5. Okay, so let's wrap this thing up. I want to start by letting you know It's Time Live Canada, right? 20 spots. Here, I'm going to do my own little anti-social media thing. It's 20 spots, but you know what it is? 20 new friends you're going to make that will become accountability partners, will be somebody you can text in the middle of the day when, somebody just quit, somebody you can reach out to. The memories we create as people, I think, is what inspires us to go back to our businesses and be better versions of ourselves, to put people before profits and serve our community at a higher level. And is the byproduct you will make money? Absolutely. I'm living proof of that. And so many of my friends, formerly clients, but now my friends, will attest to that. They simply will. So the link is there for It's Time Live Canada, May 25th through the 28th. If you're on the East Coast, come on up. That's going to be my only East Coast visit. It's Toronto. It's on that side. Barrie. It's like an hour out of Toronto, Barrie, Ontario. It's going to be super cool. And then what else? It's Time Live Purpose. We don't have the link for that yet, but that's coming up in November. Save the date, put it on your calendar. People love coming to San Francisco and spending those 4 days with me, but try to spend 4 days. If you can't close your school for 4 days, you're in a very challenging position. Or leave your school for 4 days. I would never close it. Our It's Time Live group mentoring, we just started that. And I'm proud to say we have our first client, Beth Dunkerson. So we're going to love you, Beth. You're going to get it. She's already overwhelmed by me and the team. Everything starts with one. And we celebrate it. We didn't go, oh man, we only got one sign up. I celebrated. Everything I've ever started began with one. I remember my first It's Time Live event. It was like 8 people. We ended up eating in my home and meeting in my home because it was such a small group. And today, 8 years later, it is what it is. Everything begins with one thought, one story, one student. And Beth, you're number one in our hearts, and we're digging it. So It's Time Group Mentoring. It's a monthly. Every month we cover a different subject. We do Zoom meetings. There's things you got to read. There's experiences you have to work on. And the team is there to keep you accountable. They meet with you as well. You can text with them. And it's the first time I've been able to offer something that is cost effective for the average school owner. And I don't say that derogatorily. I say that with a deep respect that I want to help you scale and monetize your business to a level that you can feel that business is a business you own versus it owning you. All right. So take a look at that. The link is there for that as well. Let's thank our sponsors. Tusa, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting. I want to thank Brother Two again for coming out here, and driving 2 hours and spending some time with me. I love you, my brother, and you remind me why I am fiercely loyal to people. You remind me why my commitment beyond the business we do together is of greater value than any amount of money we could ever create together. So I want to thank you too for My Studio for that visit and the time that we shared. Cool. So I'm all about storytelling, whether it's Walt Disney, whether it's George Lucas. Think about those storytellers, whether it's J.K. Rowling's, whether it's you and your martial arts school. Learn to become a great storyteller and be wildly protective of your brand and constantly nurture your skill set to tell your story better than it could ever be told, not to get new students, but to truly earn the trust of the community that you aspire to serve. I'm Brandon Beliso. Subscribe to this podcast. It's there at all the platforms, Spotify, Apple, all the rest. Subscribe to my YouTube channel where all these shows are posted as well. Follow me at Instagram. For everything else, go to brandonbeliso.com. Until we talk again, please, this is Success Never Sleeps. What are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.